Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be the first video to a new series we're going to be starting on my channel called The Best of the Drugstore. So I thought we would start off with bronzers slash contour products, seeing that bronzers just happen to be one of my all-time favorite makeup products. It's one of my favorite steps in my makeup routine. I take my bronzing very seriously. I would say it's a forte. I'm very passionate about looking 5 shades darker than I really am. So before I start off actually talking about the products, I wanted to begin just talking about what I look for in a bronzer slash contour product, what really makes it that good. So it needs to be the perfect pigmentation. I don't want to apply bronzer for 15 minutes, just go over and over and over, apply. Who has time for that? Nobody. And you don't want it to be too pigmented because then it can easily look muddy or patchy. You apply it, it's like, whoa. B, you want it to be the perfect color, and this varies from skin tone to skin tone, of course. Typically, I like to go for a warm tone bronzer. I have a few neutral ones in the mix as well, but you don't want it to be so warm that you're like, hello, I'm Willy Wonka's top Oompa Loompa, and you don't want it to be so cool that you're like, I just completed my first mud run. And C, you want that shit to blend itself out. You want it to look like a beautiful, perfected, airbrushed painting on your face, so extremely natural, like it just does the work for you. So I would say those are the top main important prioritized aspects to a bronzer, and those are the things that make a really bomb bronzer. And that's what I have to show you guys today. I've been so extremely picky. There are a lot of amazing bronzers and contour products at the drugstore, but I had to really narrow this down because I'm like, no, this needs to be the best of the best. These products never ever do me wrong. These are holy grail, like high-end formula status right here. I'm only going to show you the best of the best. I have a whole bunch of other ones right over there, but if they're not A+ material, I'm not going to be showing them to you guys today. You guys are getting the grade A formulas today. So I thought I would start off with contour products. I actually only have 2 because there's only 2 from the drugstore that in my opinion have a high-end feel to them, and they're actually both from Wet n Wild. So this is the Wet n Wild Megaglo contouring palette. This one is in the shade Dulce de Leche. This is such a perfect color to it because it's not warm, but it's not gray. It's not ashy. It's literally perfect to mimic the shadows that you want to create on your face. And as you can see, I've hit pan on both sides of this product. This has such a beautiful, smooth, creamy, pigmented, high-end feel to this product. It's so affordable. I'll use this side to set my under eye concealer. I'll use this to brighten certain places on my face. I'll use it to further chisel out my cheekbones right underneath that contour. It's old school, but it's freaking good, and it blends beautifully. Next up, we have the Wet n Wild Megaglo Contour Makeup Stick. I have mine in the shade Call Me Maple, and as you can see, this is a pretty warm color, so I would say this pretty much doubles as your contour and bronzer, but I would definitely say it mainly just gives your face a really beautiful all over bronze, and the color that this gives your skin is unreal. Such a beautiful, warm, rich terracotta color, like, and it looks so natural because it is a cream product. This is amazing for beginners. I'm not some super experienced person at cream contouring, but this is so easy. What I like to do is apply this on half of my face and then use a damp beauty sponge to blend it out, and it's just flawless, airbrushed perfection. It's just really freaking good. I'm so impressed with it every single time I use this by how easy and quick it is to blend out. Cream contouring always scares me a little bit because I'm always expecting something to go wrong. It never does with this. Now onto the bronzers. I'm going to be starting off with a cult favorite with very good reason. This is the Physcian's Formula Butter Bronzer, and this is just their bronzer shade. And yeah, I've hit pan. Oh, I've hit pan. If you are a beginner in makeup, if you ever have trouble making your bronzer look airbrush, natural, just like blended to perfection, you have to pick this up. This is the bronzer for you because I kid you not, and I say this every single time I talk about this bronzer, but it is foolproof. You pick up your brush and you use this bronzer, I kid you not, it blends itself out. This is the most natural looking bronzer I have in my collection. I have bronzers that make me look like J-Lo. I have bronzers that make me look way super dark and fake tan and amazing. I have bronzers that make me look glowy. I have bronzers for all of these different purposes and occasions. But if you want a bronzer that truly looks like that's just your skin, this is the bronzer you need to pick up. I would say this has a little bit below medium pigmentation, which makes it so incredibly user-friendly. You just can't mess up with this. It's never gonna look like too much on your face. It's gonna look pretty soft at first, but it's definitely buildable. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is a dupe for the Marc Jacobs Coconut Bronzer. When I apply those two bronzers together, I honestly can't tell the difference. They're the same color, that neutral color. They blend the same way. They're both that buildable, creamy formula. The only negative with this bronzer is that it does have a very strong tropical coconut sunscreen type of smell to it, so if you are sensitive to smells, it's just something to be aware of. A lot of people enjoy the smell, but it is quite strong. Up next is the number 7 bronzer, and this one is in the shade Caramel, and this just screams Charlotte Tilbury packaging to me, and I think it's so incredibly beautiful and unique, especially for the drugstore. It's so cool to pay a drugstore price but feel like you're getting that high-end experience. The formula definitely feels high-end. I find that this is very similar to the Physcian's Formula bronzer. They both have satin finishes. They blend out the same way. They have pretty much the same pigmentation, except this one's a little bit warmer. Next up, we have the Colourpop bronzer. This one is in the shade California Dreaming. Now, this is a warm bronzer, so if you love warm bronzers, this is for you. Otherwise, it might be a smidge too warm for some of you, but none of these bronzers look orange because I'm not about orange on the face, but it's warm. I love this formula so much. Whenever I open up my bronzer drawer, this is one of the first bronzers that I want to reach for. This is perfect in pigmentation. Like when I'm looking for the perfect pigmentation in a bronzer, this is the level that I think of because it's buildable, it's easy to control, but it's a pretty quick application. And this is also a satin finish. Pretty much all of these are satin finishes except for 2. Personally, that's just my favorite formula when it comes to bronzers because it goes with every single makeup look, and I find that it looks the most natural, the most healthy on the skin. Everything about this bronzer is just perfection. The price, the color, the pigmentation, the blendability literally blends itself out. And also they have 6 different shades in this formula, which is just amazing. Moving on to my one and only glowy bronzer. This is a glowy bronzer you need. Holy crap, this is beautiful. This will give you the JLo glow you have been looking for. This is the e.l.f. Warm Bronzer, and I know it doesn't look that impressive in the pan. Like, I really wasn't expecting a lot when I first picked this up. Your skin will look unreal when you apply this. You see this shade right here in this corner? This will give you a golden bronzed angelic glow. Oh my gosh, but it's not so glowy that it's going to emphasize texture. You're not going to look like highlighted. It's not going to look off. It's literally just going to be a sheer golden. It's so good. The pigmentation is where it's at. It's blendable. All of these are blendable. I would not show you something that would be impossible to blend. So whenever I want to look like a model who just walked out of a swimsuit commercial, this is the bronzer I reach for. And then these last 2 bronzers are gonna make you look tan. Like when I think bronzed, I think these 2 bronzers. So this first one is the Lottie London Tan Time Bronzer. This one is in the shade Light Medium. They have 2 shades, and this one is the lightest one. And oh my goodness, this is one of my holy grail, most favorite, insane, beautiful bronzers. Like when I want the bronze goddess level to be at 100, this brings it to 150. This has the most insanely beautiful, warm, rich terracotta color. The deepness, the richness, the deliciousness of this bronzer is ridiculous. I want to use this all of the time. This is definitely one of the more pigmented bronzers, but it blends like that. It has a satin finish to it, and it is a very warm bronzer, so just be aware of that if you're someone who doesn't like warm bronzers. This is very warm. but I love it. And this last bronzer is the NYX Matte Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Medium. This is very similar to the Lottie London bronzer, which is why I love it so much in color, the way it performs, all that stuff. I would say this is just slightly dialing down the warm undertone. It's still a warm bronzer for sure. It's still that warm, rich terracotta color, but a little bit less, and it's a matte formula instead of a satin. But whenever I wear this bronzer, I have people asking me like, oh my gosh, what is that on your face? It looks incredible. So highly recommend. All right, you guys, so that is all for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, get ready for the best drugstore blushes. That is coming at you soon. So if you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you might want to see me in any more videos, I would appreciate so much. So much. I hope you guys are all having an amazing rest of your day. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!